Getting back into Pokemon FireRed. We had just gotten the Fuchsia City Gym badge. $11 and 43 minutes in. We'd taken on Koga and one handily of Charizard. And then we went and bought some Great Balls in Saffron City's Pokemart. We beat the Fighting Dojo and got a Hitmonlee. And now we are back going into Silph Co. We start out on the first floor of Silph Co. Not a lot going on the first floor. There's a giant water fountain area, fancy corporate office lobby area. We're just going to go upstairs to the second floor. If we go down, we can start fighting some Team Rocket Grunts. Starting with Team Rocket Grunt. I know, what a great name. Starts with a level 25 Golbat. A lot of Team Rocket Grunts generally going to have poison-type Pokemon like Golbat, Zubat. Psychic-type moves and Rock-type moves and Electric moves will be pretty good against Zubats and Golbats because of their poison and their Flying-type dual typing. 915 EXP to beat the Golbat. Same kind of moves are going to work against the level 25 Zubat. Or anything really high-powered, level 40 plus kind of moves. 288 EXP to beat the Zubat. Same moves against another level 25 Zubat here. Also 288 EXP. And there's a third Zubat, also level 25. We are just continuing to use Wing Attack on Charizard. That's all we really need to use. Also 288 EXP. The other Pokemon Team Rocket likes to have are Rattatas and Raticates. This is the fifth Pokemon is a level 25 Raticate, weak against fighting moves. Although any high-powered move will do just fine. Raticate, beating that, 621 EXP, 800 G to beat this Grunt on floor 2. He says Silph Co will be associated with Team Rocket. If you kind of keep going down and to the left, you face another Grunt who says no kids are allowed in here. Starts out with a Cubone. Level 29. To beat the Cubone is 540 EXP. It is a ground-type Pokemon. Next one is a level 29 Zubat. Again, weak against your typical flying, not flying, rock, electric, ice kind of moves. I think it was 329 EXP for that Zubat, 928 G for winning. If you talk to that Grunt again, he gives you a hint. Diamond-shaped tiles are the teleport blocks. They're transporters for this high-tech building. If you keep going to the left, you will find you can't get through card key doors. If instead you go to the right, towards the Team Rocket scientist, he says it's off limits here, go home. Scientist Jerry starts out with a level 28 Magnemite. It's an electric and steel type, so it's going to be weak against moves like Flamethrower, fire moves. And fighting moves are also pretty good as well. 534 EXP to beat the Magnemite. Next up is a level 28 Voltorb, which is an electric type Pokemon weak against rock and ground type moves. Flying type moves will be weak against it, so don't use your typical kind of wing attack kind of move. 618 EXP to beat. And then we have a level 28 Magneton, the evolved form of Magnemite, again also an electric steel type weak against fire and fighting type moves. So Brick Break will work just fine. 966 EXP to beat the Magneton. 1344 G to beat the Scientist. Can you solve the maze in here, he says. It's not easy, I tell you. Well, you know there's a teleporter. We're going to go to the teleporter to the right of him. If we go left, we'll fight against another Scientist. This Team Rocket Scientist, they are always holding a tube from chemistry. It's interesting that they always do that. Scientist Parker would like to battle, starting out with a level 29 Grimer. Grimers are also common for Team Rocket. Grunts is a poison type Pokemon, 558 EXP to beat. These poison types are of course weak against psychic moves. And then there is a level 29 Electrode, the evolved form of Voltorb. You do not want to use flying moves, you want to use fighting, well, really anything else, but especially rock and ground type moves. To beat Electrode, 931 EXP. To beat Scientist Parker, 1392 G. I just need a moment. Give me a brief moment. Alright, so let's continue. He asks you what you think of Silph Building's maze. If you keep going down, there is another teleporter you can take, or you can skip it and actually access the rest of the building. If you keep going down and to the right, you can talk to one of the 4 Rocket Brothers and fight against the Rocket Brother. He's still named Team Rocket Grunt, starts out with a level 28 Weezing, and another one of those poison types weak against psychic moves. 1038 EXP to beat the Weezing. You also get the pre-evolution in level 28 Coughing. $684 EXP to beat. And then we have another poison type in a level 28 Golbat. $1,026 EXP. 896 G to beat this Team Rocket brother. He says, I'll leave you up to my brothers. If you kind of keep going down, kind of to the right, and then up, you can pick up an iron. And then there's also a Scientist that's hiding behind a plant for some reason. He says, Team Rocket's boss is terribly cruel. To him, Pokemon are just tools to be used. What will happen if that tyrant takes over our company? So he's one of the Silph Scientists hiding behind a potted plant. You go back towards that brother from before, and then you go up down the middle, you will find you have access to other levels. But let's go back through that first teleporter that we could have gone through to see what's there. If we go up that way, all you really get is it was strictly optional, just talking to one of the people hiding, one of the Silph employees. Going through that second teleporter on the left there, on the bottom left of 8th floor there, which we've been fighting on, takes us back to the entrance functionally. So if we did go back through and we went up and to the right, you see some stairs. You also see a Team Rocket Grunt kind of further to the right. We went up to the 9th floor, with many floors here, and then kind of went to the right, down, and then to the left, kind of the bottom right of the 9th floor. There's a Team Rocket scientist you can fight. Yeah, and these are really, for the most part, optional trainers. Scientist Ed is next. There are more optional trainers than there are not, but always good to fight for the experience. Level 28 Voltorb is the first Pokemon. 618 EXP to beat that. Electric is just weak against Rock and Ground. Magneton is a little different. Level 28 here. Weak against Fire and Fighting because the Steel typing is really going to be the one you want to focus on, not the electric part of it. 966 EXP to beat the Magneton. And finally we have Coughing, again weak against your Psychic type Pokemon. It's level 28 Coughing. You can use any strong move on it, really. One thing that is kind of interesting is fighting moves are weak against Poison type Pokemon, but it doesn't matter here because our starting evolution is so high level 65. But to beat that Coughing is 684 experience points, EXP, 1,344 G for beating this rocket scientist. He says, it gives you this tip, exploiting weak spots does work. Think about type advantages. If you kind of go through, go past, and then you take the teleporter, it returns you to the 5th floor. There's a kid wandering around, he says. That kid is you. Takes out a level 33 Arbok. Poison type, strong. Has resistance against, fighting types. But you can just use Psychic or whatever else, really. It does have Screech as a move that can lower your defense, but I mean, Arbox can also poison you. 1,039 EXP to beat this Grunt. 1,056 G. He says, it's not smart to pick a fight with Team Rocket. If you go to the right, you can pick up the card key. This is really the card key you really needed to go do anything. If you kept going up and to the right, you can go and fight this optional Team Rocket Grunt, which we're going to go do. Again, we are currently on the 5th floor. Now this is the top right Grunt on the 5th floor. Level 33 Hypno is a Psychic type Pokemon. Weak against Bug and whatnot. Don't use fighting moves against it. 1,165 EXP to beat the Hypno. 1,056 G. And he kindly tells you that Coughing evolves into Wheezing, as we didn't already know that. Kind of go the other direction and go up from that first run we fought on this floor. It takes you up towards the top part of the floor, and there is another Team Rocket scientist you could likely avoid fighting, but let's fight him anyway. Scientist Beau, B-E-A-U, sends out a Magneton, level 26 to start, weak against fighting moves and fire moves, as in electric and steel type. 897 EXP to beat that, and then next we have a Magnemite, which is level 26, weak against the same kind of moves as Magneton. $495 EXP to beat the Magnemite. Next up, we've got a level 26 Coughing. Poison type that's weak against Psychic moves. Don't use fighting moves against it, which I just did. And really did not need to do that, because it resists. the move of, you know, it resists fighting moves. 634 EXP to beat, and then we have, after that, Coughing a Wheezing. Again, avoid using fighting type moves. Wheezings, Coughings, generally, these poison types can do sludge attacks, which have a, I mean, there's a chance of poisoning, which can be a challenge. Level 26 Wheezing gives us 963 EXP. Dang blasted, he says. 1,248 G to beat. He says that Team Rocket has been working on the ultimate Pokeball, or Silph. Yeah, Team Rocket scientists have been working on the ultimate Pokeball, which could catch anything. We'll learn more about that later. We've now gone kind of all the way around to the top right, and then if you go into that room there, kind of on the right side, you can fight against Juggler Dalton. Level 29 Kadabra to start. Don't use any fighting moves against it. Like Brick Break, avoid that, but you can use just about any other high-powered move. 900 EXP is going to beat the Kadabra, and then the second Pokemon is also a Psychic type, level 29 Mr. Mime, same kind of rules apply. Beating Mr. Mime gets us 844 EXP, 1,160 G. Says you're only on the fifth floor, it's a long way to my boss. You use the card key to go left. Now that you have, you can open the door, and you can talk to this person who's been hiding. Says that there's been an intruder. Well, you are the intruder. You kind of go back to the top left of this fifth floor. You can open the door and grab a protein. Again, strictly optional, and you can fight. Well, this is another Silph scientist. Those thugs that took over our building, their boss said he was looking for strong Pokemon. I hope our president managed to avoid trouble. There's also a card key opening that you can take to the bottom left of the fifth floor, which gets you TM01 Focus Punch. Focus Punch is a good move. Too bad we only have one of these, but TM01 Focus Punch is a 150 power move. It does get executed last, and the user flinches if hit beforehand. Very strong. The weakness of it is it gets executed last, but it is a very strong move. On the bottom left side of the fifth floor is a teleporter, which we could take back to the third floor. And then you kind of go down a long hallway. If you go to the right, there's a teleport. Let's go up and check out the place, now that we have a card key. If we go through the card keys kind of just above it and use it twice, we can get a Hyper Potion. On the kind of the bottom left side, but through the card keys, there's Scientist Jose. Optional battle, level 29 Electrode. Weak against, rock, ground kind of moves. 931 EXP to beat that electric type Electrode. Level 29 Wheezing is going to be a poison type. Use any psychic or high power moves. Generally, that's not fighting. 1,074 EXP to beat. 1,392 G to beat the scientist. He said, Team Rocket said that if I helped them, they'd let me study Pokemon. If you go through the teleporter from there, you can go back to the 9th floor. And then you can fight a trainer, Grunt, who says, your Pokemon seem to adore you, kid. This is just a Team Rocket Grunt. The Grunts have no names, only the scientists have names. That's what you learn in the Team Rocket world. First Pokemon is a level 28 Drowsy. So we're expecting psychic types here. Don't use any fighting moves. Just use high-powered moves that are not fighting. 612 EXP to beat. Next up is a Grimer. Level 28. Psychic moves are good. Also high-powered moves. Don't use grass moves against poison-type Pokemon. 540 EXP to beat that. And then we have a Machop next. A fighting-type Pokemon, level 28. Flying-type moves, Psychic-type moves will be good against Machop. 528 EXP to beat the Machop. We've beaten the Grunt. 896 G is our reward. He says, if I'd start as a trainer your age, you can use the card key to go to the right here. And then that gives you a chance to get to some beds on the bottom left. You look tired, you should take a quick nap. If you talk to the lady, she will heal your Pokemon for you. And also a good place to save generally. But at this point, if you keep going to the right, you can open up another door with a card key, and then you find another one of the 4 Rocket Brothers. Team Rocket Grunt still has no name. Another one of those with a level 28 Golbat. 1,026 EXP to beat the Golbat. Psychic Rock moves gonna be good against that. Drowsy, really just any high-powered move. It's gonna do pretty well against this level 28 Drowsy, which is gonna give you 612 EXP. And our starter evolution, since we've just been focusing on leveling up Charizard, is level 66. Level 28 Hypno is the last Pokemon, the evolved form of Drowsy, Psychic-type Pokemon. But still, just level 28, so we're okay. 990 EXP to beat the Drowsy, and then we've beaten the second brother, 896 G for winning. He says his brothers will avenge him. So to give you a sense of kind of where we are, this has been the 9th floor. You can use the card key to go through kind of that middle area. If you use 2 of them, kind of on the right side, it kind of takes you back to the scientist you fought earlier. If we now go back down to the 8th floor and we go to the right, we can head kind of towards the 7th floors downstairs. Team Rocket Grunt here has 4 Pokemon, starting with a level 26 Raticate. Weak against fighting type moves, also can hit you early with a quick attack. Fighting moves will be your best kind of move. Gives you 645 EXP for taking out the Raticate. Next up is a level 26 Arbok. Don't use any fighting moves, but otherwise Psychic and other type moves will do just fine. 819 EXP to beat. Next up is a Coughing, which is level 26. Again, a poison type, weak against Psychic moves. 634 EXP to beat. Finally, we have a Golbat. That poison and flying type is level 26. Don't use any fighting moves against it. Use electric, rock, ice, that kind of thing. 952 EXP to beat. 832 G for beating this Team Rocket Grunt. The card key was really kind of the big one. We are now back down to the 7th floor. You can fight against another one of the Rocket Brothers when you go downstairs. First Pokemon is Cubone, level 29 from this Grunt. $540 EXP to beat. And then next up is a level 29 Cubone. So another ground Pokemon for the Grunt. 540 EXP to beat. That's the third brother, 928 G. If you take the card key down from there, you can pick up a TM08 bulk up. TM08 is just kind of okay. I mean, the user bulks up its body to boost both its attack and defense stats. If you use 2 card keys, it'll come up against another Team Rocket Grunt on the bottom right side of the 7th floor. He refers to a child intruder that he's heard of. I guess it's you. Sandshrew is the first Pokemon, level 29. Beating it gives you 577 EXP. Sandslash is the evolved form, still a ground type. If you have grass and like water type moves, I mean, that'd be solid. Doesn't really matter though, because of your level advantage. Beating level 29 Sandslash gets us 1012 EXP, 928 G. Says going home before my boss gets ticked off. If you take the teleporter next to him, it takes you back to the 5th floor, which you were on previously. Instead, if you kind of go now to the left, upper left part of the floor, you can find another optional Team Rocket Grunt with 4 Pokemon, starting with a level 26 Raticate, who would be weak against fighting moves like Brick Break. $645 EXP to beat. Next up is our Poison Flying type that we see so often, Zubat. Don't use any fighting moves against it, or ground moves. $300 EXP. Then we've got Golbat next. Level 26 Golbat is going to be weak against the same kind of moves. And also resist the same kind of moves. 952 EXP to beat. And then we've got a Rattata, level 26. Weak against fighting moves like Brick Break. $316 EXP to beat that. 832 G to beat that Rocket Grunt. If you go through and get the card key, you see that Silph employees are hiding there. Says one, it's really dangerous here, you came to save me, you can't. And then another one says that Team Rocket was after the Master Ball that Silph Co has been working on, which catches any Pokemon. And then it would be bad if Team Rocket took over Silph or our Pokemon. Now if you go towards the bottom left, so you go down, left, and then up, you can pick up a Calcium, again optional. There's a Team Rocket scientist who says, ha, you mistook me for a Silph worker. This is scientist Joshua with 2 Pokemon. First is a level 29 Electrode, don't use any fighting type moves. Don't use any flying type moves, rather. Rock, ground type moves will be pretty good. 931 EXP to beat, and then we have a Muck as the next Pokemon, a level 29 Muck. Level 29 Muck is gonna resist fighting moves, even though I just apparently used one. It does have Sludge as a move, potential chance of poison. We avoided that. Muck is going to be weak against Psychic moves. Beating the Muck gives us 975 EXP. Beating this scientist, 1392 G. And he does give you kudos. Despite your age, you are a skilled trainer. So just to kind of remind you of where you were on the 7th floor. If you go down to the 6th floor, you fight another Rocket Brother to your right. Level 29 Machop is the first Pokemon. We have, against the Machop, we have Wing Attack as a flying move. That's pretty good. 546 EXP to beat. Next up is a Machoke, another fighting type, the evolved form of Machop. Also going to be weak against Psychic and flying moves. 906 EXP to beat the Machoke. 928 G to beat this last Team Rocket brother. Now if you go through into that room area, there are a lot of Silph employees that are scared. The Rockets came and took over the building. Team Rocket's trying to conquer the world with Pokemon. They must have targeted Silph for our Pokemon products. The man next to me, he's such a coward. And the man next to her says, oh dear, help me please. If you kind of go down towards the bottom right side, you can fight another optional Grunt. First up, we've got a level 28 Zubat. Team Rocket just collects these Zubats and Golbats. 324 EXP to beat the Zubat. Level 28 Zubat is next. It's like Team Rocket just has a farm of Zubats and Rattatas. 324 EXP to beat that Zubat. Next up is the evolved form Golbat, level 28. Doesn't even really matter. Type weaknesses and strengths when your starter is level 66. 1026 EXP to beat that Golbat, and now our starter evolution is level 67. Calls you a traitor even though you're just a kid that ran in. He says, if you stand for justice, you betray us bad guys. As if bad guys tend to call themselves bad guys, right? In real life. If we kind of go around now, we fight another one of those Team Rocket scientists. That rotten president serves him right for shipping me off to the Tiki branch, T-I-K-S-I. That's why Team Rocket came after us, I'm sure. Except the scientist is now working seemingly for Team Rocket now. Scientist Taylor has 5 Pokemon. All bad. Level 25 Voltorb is first. 550 EXP to beat. For the Voltorbs and Electrodes, you can just use, Rock Ground, whatever type moves. For the other ones, these Magnemite Magnetons, I mean, you want to use Fire or Fighting moves. This level 25 Magneton is going to obviously go down pretty quickly to a fighting move. 862 EXP. Magnemite, same thing. We'll also use fighting or fire. Brick Break was kind of a nice TM option that we were able to use. Level 25 Magnemite goes down, 475 EXP. Level 25 Coughing. Shouldn't actually have used Brick Break. His fighting moves are resisted by Coughing, but whatever. $610 EXP to beat, and then we have one more Coughing. $610 EXP to beat that Coughing. 1,200 G for beating Taylor. Tiki branch is Russian no man's land, supposedly. If you use a card key to the left, you get 2 items. One is an HP up. Those are those 9,800 G kind of items, so they're not cheap. X Special is way cheaper. It's just a temporary boost rather than a permanent boost. If you kind of go to the top left side, that teleporter takes us to another scientist who calls his Pokemon his loyal servant. We're now on the 4th floor. We're kind of going downstairs now, one by one. This is Scientist Rodney with a level 33 electric type electrode. That's going to be weak against, well, really anything other than flying moves, so let's avoid wing attack. 1060 EXP, 1584 G. Says the doors are electronically locked. It takes a card key to open doors here, which we can. Let's see where this takes us. The teleporter takes us up to the 10th floor. We can even open up, we can even open the door access up here right now. But before we kind of go on, let's do some exploring on the 4th floor. Going down past that scientist takes us to the rest of the area. There's a 4th floor teleporter that takes us up to the 16th floor just there. When we keep going down the 4th floor, we can face another Grunt. All these nameless Grunts. Starts out with a level 29 Machop. Weak against flying types and psychic types. 546 EXP to beat that, and then we got Drowsy. There really aren't a lot of dark moves that are good here, against psychic types, but if you had something like Bite, for example, it's going to be pretty good against all these psychic Pokemon. And the Squirtle line going up the Blastoise does have Bite as a move. 633 EXP to beat the Drowsy, 928 G to win. So if you kind of keep going down, you can use a card key and go up to a kind of sketchy looking area here. We're going to save. You never know sometimes whether or not, when you see Pokeballs, whether they're Voltorbs or Electrodes. This seems to have a full heal, a max revive, and an escape rope, so cheap items you can get from a store, but still kind of nice. And we have another employee that says, "Shh, can't you see I'm hiding?" So that's the top left of the floor. There's a teleporter that takes us back up to the 10th floor if we wanted to take that. So 2 teleporters from 4 go up to 10 there. Bottom right has a TM41. TM41 is Torment. It's not that great of a TM. TM41 enrages the foe, making it incapable of using the same move successively. There's a Team Rocket Grunt on that side, optional. Let's go ahead and fight him. Level 28 Ekans. What would have been a nice thing had they done it is had the Pokemon Yellow upgrade to this game, but they didn't do it in this remake. 372 EXP to beat Ekans. Again, all these poison types are weak against Psychic, strong against resist fighting moves. Zubat is weak against Rock, but strong, but completely resists ground. 324 EXP. Beat that. And then we've got a Cubone, level 28. These Grunts are fairly weak against my, this strategy's kind of overpowered. 522 EXP with a Charizard at level 67, so we're in very good shape. And then 896 G for winning. Says the boss, I better tell the boss on the 11th floor. So now you know the boss is on the 11th floor. That's cool. Going back down to the 3rd floor for a visit here. We have not done anything really on the 3rd floor. If we go down, there's another Grunt. Level 28 Raticate. Weak against fighting moves. $696 EXP. Level 28 Hypno. For the next Psychic type Pokemon. Don't use fighting moves. 990 EXP to beat the Hypno, and then we've got Raticate where we do want to use fighting moves. Raticate is level 28. $696 EXP to beat. 896 G. Says, a hint, you can open doors with a card key, which we have. Hooray. We go to the right. There's another hiding employee, says, I work for Silph Co, what am I to do? So there are some parts of the 3rd floor that are little. I mean, we've already kind of accessed those areas, so we don't have to worry too much. We have fought them already. So we've cleared a lot of floors at this point. We've been going down from functionally from 10 all the way down. Now this is the 2nd floor. We already cleared these trainers. The 2nd floor does have some card key door openings. One employee says, eek, no, stop, help! Oh, you're not with Team Rocket. I'm sorry, I thought, will you forgive me if I teach the Thunder Wave technique? Now, that's pretty cool. Thunder Wave, yeah, is a pretty decent move. But we're not going to bother with that at the moment. The bottom left side of the 2nd floor says, help, I'm a Silph employee. It's really a Team Rocket scientist. Scientist Connor has 4 Pokemon. Level 26 Grimer. And don't use fighting moves like Quick Break. You can use basically anything else and it's going to do nice damage. 501 EXP to beat the Grimer. Wheezing, same idea. Same kind of moves. $963 EXP to beat. Next up is Coughing. Same moves work because it's still a poison type. Typing is such a big deal in these games. 634 EXP. Level 26 Wheezing is the next Pokemon. $963 EXP. How did you know I was a rocket? 1,248 EXP. Or G, rather, not EXP. This person says I work with both Silph and Team Rocket. So we've done quite a bit now. We have cleared basically everything, right? So let's go back up now. Going back up to the 4th floor. Going down and taking one of those teleporters to the 10th floor. So now we're back. One of the there were 2 teleporters to the 10th floor, which is kind of nice. And then if you go to the top left side, there's another Team Rocket scientist. Enough of your silly games, he says. That's Scientist Travis. Is he level 29 Magnemite? Again, the Steel typing means it's weak against Fire and Fighting type Pokemon moves. Use those when you have them. 552 EXP to beat. And then we have another coughing. Again, your sidekick kind of moves will be pretty good. Avoid fighting moves. This level of 29 coughing, by beating it, you will get 708 EXP. No continues left, he says, 1,392 G. Says, are you satisfied with beating me? Then go home. If you keep going down, you fight another Grunt, who appears to be next to 3 items. Has a level 33 Machoke, fighting type that is weak against flying and psychic moves. $1,032 EXP to beat. He says he's stunned, gives you 1,056 G. Says nice try, but the boardroom is up one more floor. Of course, we know that. We found one Carbos, again one of those expensive 9,800 G items. Got a rare candy, you can't even buy those. Gain 1 level gain. And you get an Ultra Ball, that's pretty neat. An Ultra Ball is an upgraded version of the Pokeball and the Great Ball. And you can't really buy them yet, so it's kind of neat to have that option if you want to use them. So it is a very high Great Ball that offers a higher Pokemon catch rate than a Great Ball. And we're getting up there. We are now on 11, or we are now on 10. That clears the 10th floor. We are now up to the 11th floor, where there's another Team Rocket Grunt. Halt! Do you have an appointment with my boss? Yes, in fact, I do have an appointment with your boss. First up is a level 25 Rattata. He has 5 Pokemon. First one's going to be weak against fighting moves. $304 EXP to beat the Rattata. Our starter evolution is actually now at level 68. That's kind of crazy. Level 25 Rattata. Again, for the second Pokemon weak against fighting type moves. 304 EXP to beat the Rattata. Next up is a Zubat. Level 25 Zubat's going to be weak against Rock, Ice, Electric type moves. $288 EXP to beat the Zubat. Next up, we've got a Poison type Pokemon, level 25. Weak against Psychic moves. Don't use Fighting type moves against Ekans. $331 EXP to beat that, and then Rattata is the last Pokemon. Also is level 25. So we have 3 of these. I mean, they're all weak against fighting type moves, but at this point your PP might be a little low. If you've just been using one Pokemon like me, 304 EXP to beat, 800 G for the whole trainer battle. So you're able to keep moving. You can grab 1 Zinc below him. So right here, you can see where you have to be. You have to land at that teleporter on the left side. But this is probably a good point for us to go and heal anyway. So let's take the elevator all the way back down, and then we're going to find our routing on the way back. We have an elevator. We can take it all the way down to the first floor. We'll go back and heal at the Pokemon Center. If you're doing a speed run, probably you don't want to do that. You just want to bring enough potions and revives up to this point, but we're not doing a speed run, so we're going to head out running shoes all the way back to the Pokemon Center because that's more precise than biking in a way. Gonna heal. And then let's take stock on what Pokemon we've got. Little check here on where we are. We've got a level 68 Charizard. We have Flamethrower, which has 95 power, Wing Attack with 60 power, Brick Break with 75 power, and Strength with 80 power. We have a level 30 Snorlax with 80 power Strength, Yawn as a move, Rest as a move, and Surf, which does 95. It's a 95 power move. We have Nidoran Male, 80 power move in Strength. Horn Attack, 65 power, Poison Attack, or Poison Sting rather, 15 power, and Helping Hand. We have a Pidgey for fly purposes, 40 power Quick Attack, 70 power Fly, 60 power Wing Attack, and Whirlwind. We have a level 24 Oddish, Sleep Powder, Cut, 50 power, Acid, 40 power, and Flash, which is the HM. We have Eevee with a Quick Attack, 40 power. We could always evolve the Eevee with one of those stones. Secret Power, 70 power. Dig, 60 power, and Helping Hand. And that is our team. That's just an example team. We could have leveled up some of these other Pokemon as well. We chose not to and just leveled up one Pokemon because it is just steamrolling everything as we go through. Now we need to figure out how to get, or going back into the Silph Co after healing at the Pokemon Center for free. Now we need to find our way up to the 11th floor. So the question becomes, what's going to connect us? So we got to do some exploring, figure out what is going to get us there. All the floors are largely connected, but you obviously need to land in a very particular spot to make it over. So we have an area we have not actually accessed yet. This is the 8th floor. Card key going to the northwest side, or the top left side. One person says, I wonder if Silph is finished. That teleporter actually doesn't take us anywhere, unfortunately. We're going to have to find the correct teleporter that's going to take us to the top left of the 11th floor. Okay, we've been going around in circles for a few minutes, so let's figure this out. Okay, so the 11th floor, we've gone through most of the floors at this point. I think the big thing we got to do is probably go, because you know we got on the 5th floor, we got the card key from the Rocket Grunt, which allowed us to open doors. We ended up going to that basically gave us access to the 3rd floor. But really, I believe it's going to be the 7th floor that takes us all the way up. We've already healed, which is good. And now we got to figure out exactly where to go from the 7th floor building. You can see that area right there, right? So I think we actually needed. We may have to go down further. Okay, we're back on the 3rd floor. There's a warp right here. So it is the warp on the 3rd floor. That's kind of in the center of the room. Let's save here. We've got an exciting battle coming. The rivals here. Ha ha ha, I thought you'd turn up if I waited here. I guess Team Rocket slowed you down. Not that I care. I saw you in Saffron, so I decided to see if you got better. Rival Blue. Starts out with a level 37 Pidgeot, a normal and flying type Pokemon. Do not use any fighting type moves or ground moves because they're not going to work. Ultimately, you want to do the most high power moves you've got. Rock types will be great. Rock, electric, ice type moves will be golden here. 1,363 EXP to beat. And then your starter evolution is generally going to be your toughest fight here. Level 40 here. If you've just been leveling up one Pokemon like me, you can just power through with basically any move, right? Strength is going to be, you know, wing attack. These are good moves. But beware of the type disadvantage. You may have to do more than one attack on your opponent. In this case, Blastoise's Water Gun is going to do, you know, decent damage. But the key is avoiding getting hit too many times with a type disadvantage move and just using your highest powered move from your starter or otherwise high level Pokemon. 1,800 EXP to beat. But know your type disadvantages and advantages because Blastoise you'd hit with electric moves. Charizard you can also hit with electric moves. But you also have you know, Grass against Blastoise, Water against Charizard, Psychic or Fire kind of moves against Venusaur. So next up, we've got a level 38 Growlithe, which makes sense because there's no fire type for our opponent here because he has Blastoise. He already has a water type. Level 38 Growlithe, your wing attack or strength is probably going to be your best move. But even fire move here has been strong enough for us. Water type moves are going to be good. 741 EXP to beat that. Then we have an Execute level 35. Weak against fire. moves for sure, because it is a grass type. 735 EXP. Beat, and then Alakazam is kind of a bit of a glass cannon, can be strong in terms of its moveset, but if you hit it first, it's gonna go down pretty quickly. 1,395 EXP for beating the Alakazam, and then now we're ready for against the Boss Rocket. 1,440 G for beating Rival Blue. Says, well, Yo-Yo, I'm moving on up ahead. By checking my Pokedex, I'm starting to see what's strong and how they evolve, and my genius or what? I'm going to the Pokemon League to boot out the Elite Four. I'll become the world's most powerful trainer. Well, good luck for you. Don't sweat it. Smile ya. One person says, oh, hi, you're not a rocket. You came to save us. Why, thank you. I want you to have this Pokemon for saving us. Gives you a Lapras. That's cool. We'll take a look at the Lapras later. It is a very intelligent Pokemon. Silph Co employee said, we kept it in our lab, but it will be much better off with you. I think you'll be a good trainer for Lapras. It's a good swimmer. It'll give you a lift across water. Lapras is also a pretty solid Pokemon from this generation. We just beat the rival, so let's go ahead and save. And then we'll go through the other teleporter, which takes us to Giovanni. This is the 11th floor. We have the card key already. There's one more Team Rocket Grunt we have to take out before we get to the key card door. First Pokemon is Cubone, level 32. $595 EXP to beat the Cubone. Then we got Drowsy, level 32. Don't use fighting moves against it. Dark moves like Bite will be pretty good. 699 EXP to beat. Then we have Marowak, which is a level 32 ground type Pokemon. Beating Marowak, 849 EXP. 1,024 G for winning. We're now all the way through. Now let's save before our boss battle here, Team Rocket Boss. Card key opens the door, we can go in. Giovanni comes out, says, so we meet again, the president and I are discussing a vital business proposition. Threat. Keep your nose out of grown-up matters, or experience a world of pain. If Giovanni challenges you to a battle, just after you fought with the rival, so if you hadn't healed, I mean, it would have been a possibility to go for a heal before fighting this. First Pokemon is Nidorino, level 37. A Nidorino is a poison type Pokemon. Eventually evolves into a poison and ground type as a Nidoking. 934 EXP to beat that. You can always use psychic moves or any high powered moves generally. Level 37 Rhyhorn is gonna be a Pokemon that you may want to use fighting type moves on if you have like Charizard. Otherwise you can just use a grass or water type move to take out Rhyhorn, or a ground move. 1,069 EXP to beat that. Next up, we have Kangaskhan, level 35. Kangaskhan has Fake Out as a priority move. Always goes first against you, but if you have any fighting moves are strong against normal types like Kangaskhan, and that will be super effective. Beating the level 35 Kangaskhan gives you a 1,312 EXP boost. Finally, we have Nidoqueen, which is the most evolved form of Nidoran female. It is a poison and ground type, meaning flying moves will also be good, not just psychic type moves. Although it does have Poison Point as a move, so it can poison your Pokemon. It's Double Kick, which is weak against flying moves like flying Pokemon like Charizard, but can do quite a bit of damage if you have like a Rock type Pokemon in, for example. Fighting moves are weak against Nidoqueen as well, but we still did okay. 1,704 EXP to beat. That Nidoqueen 4,100 G to beat Giovanni. He says, blast it all, you ruined our plans for Silph, but Team Rocket will never fall. Never forget that all Pokemon exist for Team Rocket. I must go, but I shall return. If you then go up and talk to the secretary, she says, thank you for rescuing all of us. We, from the president down, are indebted to you. If you talk to the Silph Co president, he says, oh dear boy, thank you for saving Silph. I will never forget you saved us in our moment of peril. I have to thank you in some way because I'm rich, I can give you anything. Maybe this will do. He gives you a Master Ball. You cannot buy that anywhere. It's our secret prototype Master Ball. It will catch any Pokemon without fail. You should be quiet about using it though. You don't want others to find out. The Master Ball is the best ball with the ultimate performance. It will catch any wild Pokemon without fail. Typically in this game, people will use it on a legendary Pokemon like Mewtwo. If they do use it, I am probably not going to use it on any Pokemon in this playthrough because I want to see what to... So we're just going back through the teleporters. We've got car keys to get us through back to the stairs or the elevators. So we are all the way back down to the first floor by just going through the teleporters, taking the stairs or the elevators from the third floor back to Saffron City. We're going to go ahead and heal our poison Charizard, and then it is going to be a stopping point for us here for the morning. So we're going to head at least towards Saffron City's gym on the northeast side, and that'll be our pause point. It is no longer blocked by a Team Rocket Grunt. We are now 12 hours and 49 minutes into the game. And we'll pause here. Thank you for watching.